On. We're on.
Hey, what's up? It's at the movies with Matt Ryan. It's different though. It's not radio.
We've
it's
we've been kicked out of our humble abode, our
yeah,
home at the radio, and now we're home in the desolate cold that is
yeah,
Western Mass.
yeah. Well, Salem's pretty desolate and cold.
Yeah, I don't know, but so we said we might do some reviews and stuff
Yeah,
while we're gone, and I think due to boredom, yeah, we're gonna get into that a bit.
yeah,
So,
pretty quick. It's only
yeah,
been like 4 days since our last show, so
yeah, the
we
quick,
tape up.
no ad difficulties, none of that crap either today, and we can swear.
Oh yeah, I'm a
So
professional.
yeah, I'm a perfect. You're the one. This kid. Just before we started a review for today's movie, Nocturnal Animals, this guy right here, he swears like a sailor. At our NBA
I
show,
don't.
our
What are you talking
NBA,
about?
our NBA show, you were like, fuck, you fuck shit, like right under the mic, like you didn't say it direct. I bet you
No,
the mic picked
it
it
was
up.
off though.
Nah, sure,
It was off. It was
not
off.
not professional. But today we'll be reviewing Nocturnal Animals, which is Tom Ford's latest movie. He's done two movies. 2009's A Single Man was his first movie,
Yeah,
and he's a very different director. He's an interesting director. He comes from the fashion world, and now he directs movies, obviously. But he wrote this movie as well. And do you want to do plot synopsis, or do you want me to do it?
plot synopsis. I can do it if you
All
want.
right, do it.
I like it better. All right. Well, Nocturnal Animals stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Amy Adams, and well, it kind of is about how Amy Adams is like she's like this artist, I guess you could say, and basically what happens
She's
is
not an
Jake Gyllenhaal,
artist. She runs an art house.
yeah,
But
but
she's
you know what
she's
I mean.
not the artist though.
I guess so.
But no,
In
that's an
that sense.
important distinction because it plays into her character.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. Would that be giving it away or
No, no,
a plot? It wouldn't.
no.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, she's not an artist, but she runs an art gallery. But I think I can mention that like later on in the review, like how that plays into the plot. But anyway, so like she used to date this guy, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and they broke up pretty brutally, and it's basically a revenge thriller, I guess you could say, is basically what it is.
Well, you're forgetting the big thing is that Jake Gyllenhaal sends Amy Adams' character a novel he
A
wrote
book, yeah,
called Nocturnal Animals that's dedicated to her, and a
yeah,
majority of the movie is that book. In the Amy Adams plotline in a way is like a framing device for the
yeah.
story. But
It's
yeah,
like
what do you say?
it's like a story inside of a movie, or
Yeah,
a movie inside of
it's a movie inside.
sort of.
It's two movies basically.
Yeah, so a movie and movie.
But do you want to start with your opinion?
Yeah, I really love the movie. I thought it is a simple plot, and I will say this: the first half of the movie was much better than the end or the third act, I guess you could say, because it was very, very tense, and there was a lot of scenes in the beginning of the film that had me on the edge of my seat. And I noticed, like Tom Ford, what he likes to do is he likes to have these really quick scenes, but then he likes to have these like really, really long scenes. It's never like a medium, but and he also likes to go back and forth. He likes to revisit like the same scenes. I feel like there's a lot of same. He has an interesting way of directing a movie, but it's something that I really enjoyed as far as that goes. But um, the cast was great. It was definitely an all-star cast. You had Jake Gyllenhaal, Amy Adams, Michael Shannon, and it was definitely it definitely helps when you have that cast and a great director for this type of movie. And it was my type of movie in the fact that it reminded me a little bit of the Gift a little bit, where it was
Really?
because it was a revenge type movie. It was something that I was kind of engaged throughout the whole movie. Like it was one of those movies that, yeah, Matt, I know you were complaining about how simple it
No,
was, but
hey, don't spoil my review.
I know, but like, well, you're gonna, it's part of it. But anyway, I like it because it was a movie that I couldn't like turn away from. Like I was never bored. I was never like checking the time to see when it was gonna end. Like it was one of those movies that I just really couldn't I was rarely not engaged in it.
All right. Well, I thought the movie was it was good, good, not great, fair. But the movie this reminded me most of was Neon Demon, actually.
Yeah, I was just because fashion, right? Nicholas
Well,
Wine
no,
reference.
not because of fashion. It's because it's an art house take on like a genre movie. Like this is very much kind of sleazy and pulpy in the way that like a mainstream thriller is, but you have this art house kind of spin from Tom Ford, which I think is interesting, and I think that's what made Neon Demon a really great movie. But this movie, I think, drastically pales in comparison because I
Mm,
think it's way more ambitious than it wants or it should be. The framing device of the Amy Adams character reading the book, it never worked. I don't think. I think Amy Adams is fine in the movie. She's obviously not awful, but it's very obvious and kind of. I think the movie mishandles how they play her arc.
I think the frame was actually pretty good. I think it related well to the book because it
I don't.
related to the message that
It
Tom Ford was trying to display.
it was messy. It just felt underdeveloped though. Like the character of Amy Adams is just kind of she's a vacuum. She doesn't she's not a really there's not much to her. She just kind of feels like a plot device. And she's
Yeah, but
supposed to
I
what?
no, like I got to understand who she was though. Like
I know, but
she's this person
yep.
who kind of doesn't believe in herself, I guess you could say, and that's kind of cost her at some
I
points in
wouldn't
her
say
life.
doesn't believe. I think she's just cynical and like she's settling for like she's like her mom. She's basically become her mom, which is this kind of cynical, high class
Yeah, she's
person.
not following her dreams.
Well, yeah, not only
But
that, but like just turning away from Jake Gyllenhaal's character, who's the author, the creative type.
yeah,
She kind of shies away from doing that. But like I didn't think the frame device worked because it was so sparingly used. Like
I mean,
it feels like the movie was mostly just the book part, and that those parts were actually pretty fun. It was pretty engaging. It wasn't any like edge of my seat kind of thrills, but it was good. And Tom Ford's obviously a great visual director, and the movie looks really good, like especially the western kind of Texas setting. But
yeah, he definitely has a talent for doing that. But I think what I love so much about the movie is I continued. It kept me guessing. Like I didn't know what was going to happen each part. Like even the scene with like the guys and everything. Like you know what I'm talking. I don't want to spoil it, but where the cars and on the highway. Like I didn't know what was going to happen next. Like that's how good of he. That's how well he directed this movie. And that's what I really enjoyed
see,
about it.
I think the movie is really predictable. I think after the first 30, maybe 40 minutes, I had a sense of where it was going and what happened. Because
Well,
what?
no, I was gonna say like the overall message is I think a little predictable, but I think as
Not
far
the
as the
mess.
scenes go,
No, I think the story was predictable too. I think I saw where everything was going, and I think the themes and metaphors the movie have are very overhand or overdone, and I think the movie's just a mess, like in a lot of parts. I think what the redeemable aspects for it for me are the engaging aspects of the pulpy thriller, and that's mostly because Aaron Taylor Johnson, who rightly got a Golden Globe nomination, and Michael Shannon. They're both great, and they're both on this amazing level. They're chewing up scenery, but that's kind of what you want from that type of storyline. Jake Gyllenhaal, he's kind of just the straight man. It's probably one of the weaker Gyllenhaal performances I've seen from it because he just doesn't have that much to do. He's just a straight man, and I was honestly disappointed how the book part ended. I thought it was going to be a little more pulpy, a little more it like embraced the genre aspect of it, but it never completely delves into it.
no, I was that was the one big issue I had was the ending because of how great and how like because the movie had me guessing throughout the entire 2 hour running time. I was waiting for that great big finale, and I just never got it. So I guess that's one problem. But I think like the rest of the movie makes up for that, and I agree. Shannon was fantastic, and what's his name? Yeah, Gyllenhaal. I still think Gyllenhaal put out a good
He
performance
was.
though.
I think him and Amy Adams were fine in the movie, but I, I think Shannon and Aaron Taylor Johnson really steal the show. It's really their movie, I think,
Yeah,
and they make it worth watching. I think the the thriller parts of it work, but the movie
yeah,
as a whole it struggles to work. Like it's a movie I think I it feels more like a first time director, which is funny because Tom Ford's first movie was so great, A Single Man. But this feels a
yeah.
lot more like someone trying to get their style across, but at the same time feeling at telling a cohesive narrative. Like the story just doesn't come together, and in the end, I didn't care like about the Amy Adams part. There was an emotional disconnect that the movie made me feel.
Yeah, I mean, I still think, like, first of all, Aaron Taylor Johnson was a fantastic antagonist. He was almost, like, creepy at some points.
No, he was
Uh,
great. He played up to the scenery. He really like knew
yeah.
it's like you're gonna be this kind of scumbag, but like kind of funny villain. Like there's parts where I was laughing just the ridiculous stuff he does.
Oh, yeah, yeah, like, the scenes on the highway and stuff, yeah. But, I don't know, like, as far as the plot goes, and if you have, like I said, if you have the thrilling aspect, and if you have a good cast, a good director, and pretty nice visuals, I think it makes up for it. And I was pretty engaged. I was pretty satisfied with what I was seeing. I mean, just because it's a simple story doesn't mean it can't be a great movie. That's my theory. I
Well,
think
I don't think it's simple. I think it tries to be something more. It tries to be
it's
this.
simple.
Well, it tries to be this. No, it isn't because the framing device makes it way more like trying to be this kind of metaphor and trying to, and it totally misfires at that. It totally falls flat, and I don't think either aspect of the movie was great. I think the Amy Adams part, like I'd give like a 5. Like it, it looked good. The performances are all right, but there was nothing to it. And then the thriller part, I'd give like a 7.5. Like it was never super engaging. Like I was on the edge of my seat, but I was like enjoying it throughout, and I was kind of like following along with it. And the performances and visuals made it really interesting. But I expected something more. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, I expected what I expected. I mean, it wasn't like the movie was highly like touted or anything. But as far as one thing I will say is the parts where Amy Adams had like those scenes with her new boyfriend, I guess you could say, were kind of pointless to the plot, in my
Well, no,
opinion.
but see, he tries to make that have a point, and I think the movie fails at making. I don't want to spoil it, but maybe we can get.
Yeah,
I mean, we can say spoilers from here on out, but Army Hammer's character is basically her settling. It's just a further, you know, note of her settling down and avoiding kind of like the creative part. Like she's becoming her mother, basically. I think that's just what the character was there for. But like I said, there's a lot of characters that are just plot points.
yeah, but like Amy Adams' character, I still think fits well. The frame at least fits well with what's going on in the book because it's a revenge, and we don't know what is the revenge about if we don't know like Amy Adams' character.
Yeah,
Like we
but
know,
there's not. It's not satisfying. Like there's because you don't care. You just don't give a shit about Amy Adams' character. It's just like she's just kind of this thinly developed character who never becomes anything more. So it's hard at the end to be like get this sense of anything. Even like there was no emotional beat it had. I think, and it tries to be like like revenge and all this like kind of surprise you, but it just it missed the mark. And I
I
think
don't.
for that reason, it's going to be kind of it's a good movie, but a forgettable movie. I think.
Um, I don't think it was forgettable. I think it's different than most
See,
movies, than
I
most
wish
thrillers.
I wish it was more different. I thought I was expecting something a little more. Like Tom Ford kind of embraces the genre aspects of the thriller, but he doesn't. He doesn't go full out. He goes half in because I think the ending of the book part was very kind of simplistic and just like all right, like let's just wrap this up. Like, I wish it was something a little more, you know.
Well, yeah, I did say that. Yeah, like that was the one part that I was expecting a more grandiose
See,
finale.
I don't think it needed to be grandiose, just different, just something like
Yeah, well,
unique.
anything, something shocking because there's so many like edge of your seat scenes that like I was expecting an ending like that, and it didn't happen.
Mm.
That was the problem. That was the one problem I'd say.
See, I think the framing device here just doesn't work, and I don't know. The performances, like I said, I honestly think it's a mixed bag because this is probably like if Amy Adams gets nominated for this over Arrival, I'd be pretty shocked because Arrival she has way more to work with and
Yeah.
gives a much more developed performance. And Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal, like he's fine in the movie, but he's kind of relegated mostly to playing a straight man. There's a couple scenes he really stands out, but I think it's also we've seen Gyllenhaal be much better.
No, I agree. I think Adam's character is definitely more developed than Arrival, but I think she's also like more of the star in Arrival. I think Gyllenhaal is more of the star in this movie.
I don't think there really is a star. I think it's an ensemble movie because it's every scene Gyllenhaal's in, Mike Shannon's in. I think it's kind of those three of Adams, Shannon, and Gyllenhaal. And then Aaron Taylor Johnson's really in only like 4 or 5 scenes, but they're great scenes.
Yeah, I think those are some of the best scenes in one season.
I think they're all the best scenes of the movie, or the one because he just grabs the screen and he doesn't let go.
Yeah, but as far as I think Tom Ford likes to capture like emotion through facial expressions because I think like there's a lot of times where it was just like a scene of Amy Adams' face and like seeing how she's reacting to certain situations, and he kind of like went in and out with different scenes between her and something that happened in her past or something with a book. And I thought he did that pretty effectively, in my opinion.
The movie tries to leave you on this it's a very cold movie and it tries to leave you like feeling that sense of coldness, but it I don't know, like I just kind of left the movie and didn't really have any strong feelings about it. But do we want to get into ratings?
Yeah.
What would you give it?
I might try. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. All right.
Yeah.
See, I'm dropping. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Ryan's looking shocked right now, but I'd recommend it. It was a good theater experience. I'm glad I saw it in the theater, and I'm glad movies like this play in mainstream markets. But there's a lot of aspects of it that miss for it to really be a great movie. But it's even when it misfires, I was still like interested in seeing what happened, and I think the performances from Taylor Johnson and Shannon really. They're really, I think, 2 of the best supporting performances of the year.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But and then Tom Ford, I think visually does a good job, but I think his script has a lot of flaws, and I think that's kind of what holds the movie back.
Yeah, my theory is if you're just like the regular moviegoer and you're into thrillers, I think this movie you're gonna love. But if you're like someone like you, Matt, who really delves into the details and everything, I think it'll be good, but not great.
I think the movie definitely has a little more mainstream appeal than I thought it was gonna have, and it has crossed over well. It did pretty decently, and it went wide I think 2 weeks ago, but I'm glad. Like it's cool that a movie like this is doing well.
Yeah, I saw Rotten Tomatoes. It had made $1.5 million this weekend or last weekend, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
for like a movie like this.
But yeah, so that's our review for Nocturnal Animals. What movie do you think we're seeing next? Let's give a little.
I'm not. I don't know. Like, do you want to see? I know you don't want to see Fences. But...
Well, no, I'll see Fences, but that looks like the most 7 out of 10 movie ever. Like,
that looks good.
It'll be fine. I don't know. There's a movies I want to see though. I'm kind of curious about Passengers, even though it'll be lame. Manchester, definitely Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah. I got a feeling I'm seeing that.
But yeah, we'll do that.
La La Land.
Yeah, La La Land. But we'll continue with these reviews. Maybe we'll have a NFL video Monday or something. Kind of recap
Yeah.
the week.
Sunday is Christmas, but like I think they're having all the games Saturday. Is that what you said?
There's most of the game. 2 games are Sunday. There's a 4 o'clock game and then there's a Sunday night game. But every other game
Okay,
is
yeah.
Saturday. So maybe we can do a video on Monday talking about football a bit. But
Yeah, that'd be
yeah,
good.
this was our review. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and then
Hey, what? Yeah.
we'll be back on the radio January 15th. But until then, we'll be doing these YouTube videos. So I hope you enjoyed.
Yes, I'm Ryan.
I'm Matt. Have a good day.